Chainlink is tapping into a multi-trillion-dollar sector, and we need to discuss how they're going to do that in today's video. Hey guys, Foxy's Trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and today we are back talking about Chainlink. Now, recently they were at a interview panel at SmartCon, and they basically had a 30-minute video about Chainlink, talked about a lot of interesting things. So I recommend everybody checking that out. And I want to talk about some of the things that they said. Then we're going to look at market structure at the end of the video, where I think price is going and how the market is moving. Okay. So when I say they are tapping into a $1 trillion market, it is true. They're looking at tokenization, which is estimated to be around 5 to 30 trillion in the next decade, I would believe. And yes, you're thinking right away, oh, that is so far away. But you have to think, if Chainlink can tap into it a little bit, into a $1 trillion network, their price is going to explode. It's just going to be very, very massive. Okay. So what is asset tokenization anyways? It means taking real world assets like real estate or stocks or gold or bonds or funds, things like that, and turning them into tokens on a blockchain. And I think this is one of the biggest trends that is coming to crypto, because it lets people trade real assets 24/7. Okay. But there's a problem, and Chainlink is fixing that problem, right? So blockchains can't connect to real world financial data. We know that. And to tokenize assets safely, you need to verify the price. You need to show that proof of the asset actually exists, updates from the banks, cross-chain settlements, things like that, compliance and audit systems. And this is what Chainlink is going to be providing. Okay. Chainlink is the missing infrastructure that makes tokenization possible. Okay. So it gives everything these tokens need. So proof of reserve, for example, right? They talk about also proof of reserve and proof of backing. Every token and asset has to have something that is verifiable, because we have seen a lot of fraud in crypto in the past. So now everybody wants that reliability, right? So proof of reserves, it verifies real assets like gold or ETFs. Price feeds, it keeps tokenized assets aligned with real world assets. We have CCIP, which lets tokenized assets move between blockchains, things like that. Okay. So it is providing that reliability that everyone is looking for in today's time. And like I said, $5 to $30 trillion market in the next decade is what the quote unquote analysts are saying. Okay. So we talked about those two things. Now, what's another big thing, right? So I talked about reliability, and we saw that a week ago, I think it was a week or two, we had a massive power outage, right? But not only that, a couple days ago, we also had the Cloudflare outage. Now, while all of those things were down, Chainlink remained unaffected. And I think a lot of people are going to start realizing this. And when I say people, I mean big companies, that they're going to start to need cryptos, and not just cryptos, but the tech that these cryptos are providing for companies, and they're going to be providing real world utility, because they just cannot power the amount of things that they have the way they are doing it right now. So they are going to need certain cryptos to help with that. And obviously Chainlink was unaffected, and that is a very good thing, because obviously nobody wants something that wasn't working. So they are most likely having a look at Chainlink. And Chainlink powers 80% of DeFi on Ethereum and is now building the rails for institutional adoption. So Chainlink is absolutely ahead of the competition when it comes to this, right? I really don't see much competition for Chainlink. Yes, we do have Pyth network. I would say that is the closest competition Chainlink has, but even then, Pyth is still relatively new. They still have some issues. They have errors. They are not on the level that Chainlink is. And that is just with the tech itself. And that is not even talking about the partnerships and the programs and all of that Chainlink has. Chainlink has established itself as a dominant player in this game. It just dominates the Oracle industry more than anybody else. and it already has real world utilization, right? Swift uses it, ANZ Bank uses it. So there's billions of dollars that is pumping into Chainlink, and I really only see Chainlink going up. I don't see it slowing down. I don't see them going away. They are building a foundation for the future, and a lot of people are forgetting of that, right? They want to see very quick gains, but what they don't see is a little bit further ahead what these companies are doing, what these projects are doing. Have a look at the roadmap, right? The roadmap tells you so much of what a project is doing and how they are gonna do it. So when a company has a good roadmap, you can be grateful and you can look for things into the future. Okay, so that was just a quick little summary. I could honestly go on and on and on about this 30-minute interview that they had. They talked about so many important things. If you guys are interested in Chainlink, I highly recommend to watch this. Maybe if you're doing another activity, put on a second monitor, put on your phone, whatever, but you will learn a lot of things, and they say a lot of good things about Chainlink. So let's look at market structure very, very shortly right after this. So we are red across the board, right? Low in volume, very down in volume actually. So keep that in mind with what I'm about to tell you on the charts, right? Down in price, down in market cap, still 86% bullish, and on all the big exchanges pretty much. So when looking at coin market cap, or not coin market cap, sorry, the charts, what did I draw out last time I talked about it, right? So we had this imbalance in prices called a fair value gap on the weekly time frame. We can see price respected it here and it respected it here before it closed below and said, I am ready to push down. Okay. And we see these zones everywhere in the market. They are not random zones. Sometimes they will respect it and they will not be tested again and they will push to the upside. Sometimes they test, break through, and then we use it as a resistance zone. Okay, that happens all the time. Just know these are important zones. So now that we have closed below this area, right, and we are pushing down, where can we go? Well, this is the strongest low that we have. This is what has swept liquidity here, swept liquidity here, and did not sweep liquidity there, but we had these two and these two, right? So this is a very strong low because it swept previous liquidity and it hasn't been swept yet. Now, obviously, this is a far, far away from where price currently is. And I would not want to see this because then the recovery would take so much longer, right? So ideally, price goes to either this liquidity or this liquidity before we get a reversal to the upside. And if you're wondering why liquidity is so important, because that's where money is. Where there's liquidity, there's buy orders, there's stop losses. Liquidity is so important. You can see it always in the market. Look, for example, here, right? We had liquidity, price just swept out liquidity, boom, slammed to the downside, right? This happens all the time. Yes, sometimes liquidity doesn't get taken, but price likes going towards liquidity. So what else can we see in the market? I can see this imbalance in price right away. And I can see that price has tested this area multiple times, right? 1, 2, almost, and then this time right over here. So we know that this is a strong zone, but it also is a very low zone. If price were to get to this area, I would absolutely be buying up because that is a fantastic discount zone. I'm expecting Chainlink to go much higher in the next coming months, years, right? So getting it at a discount price should be a win in your books as long as you believe in the project and as long as you believe in crypto, because when there's pessimism in the market, that's when you want to be buying. Remember when I said we're down 30% on volume? Because people are not buying yet. And the reason people are not buying yet is because we are in no man's land, right? There's nothing really here for people to be buying. If price gets to this area, I promise you volume's going to spike to like 50-60% because that's where smart money is buying. That's where institutions are buying. That's where banks are buying, and they are loading up hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't want to buy here. Why? Because it can just go further down. Why do they want to buy on a loss, right? And there's also no confirmation that it's going to go up. So that's why they are not buying. If we closed above here, I promise you that volume would be higher because that is their confirmation that maybe we are getting that liquidity, right? So what else can we look at? We can look at RSI. I can almost guarantee you that it's going to be oversold. Yeah, so it's been oversold for a while now because obviously we are in a bearish trend. I think you can all see that pretty easily. If you can't, let me draw it out for you, right? So we have this high right over there. Then we have a lower low, lower high, lower low, right? It's that step ladder to the downside. So we obviously need to start hoping for a bullish formation, which means higher highs followed by higher lows. And we can start that on the daily time frame. We can see we are still bearish, right? High, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Same thing, step ladder to the downside. So we need to start flipping that area. And I think the strongest momentum would be a closure above this high and then a closure above the fair value gap, and then we would push to the upside because a lot of people get faked out, right? Let's just say price closes above here, which is above this high. They think, oh, we're in a reversal, and nope, it slams right back down. You have to wait for more than just one confirmation. Just because we make one high in this massive bearish trend does not mean we are flipping bullish. So my ideal confirmation, if anybody wants to play it really safe, is to wait above a closure above here and then buy up, because that's where price is going to tell us that we are now going to the upside. As of right now, I can see further continuation to the downside, maybe towards that $10 area. But like I said before, for anybody that believes in Chainlink very, very much the way I believe in Chainlink, I think this is a very strong and good discount zone. Your gains are much higher on the table, right? So if you're buying at $10 and you're going back to all-time highs to 52, 5x, right? Is anybody going to be complaining about 5x? I don't think so. So I think this is a good time to get in. And with everything they are doing with the $1 trillion market and all of that, tapping into it just a little bit, we are going to go up into the future. I know it has been red the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, but just because there is all this red right over here does not mean we're not going to get a blue period like this. And altcoin season isn't even here yet, so just wait until we get there. And I think that is all I want to say for market structure and analysis. If you guys have any questions about anything at all, let me know in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you guys do your own research because I'm not a financial advisor, and I'll see everybody in the next video.